Hello and good evening, Bertie County. This is Sarah Tinkham, Clerk to the Bertie County Board of Commissioners, Executive Assistant to the County Manager, as well as a member of the Bertie County COVID-19 Task Force. Our Help Us Keep Bertie Safe virtual town hall will begin in a few short moments. Thank you for tuning in on Zoom as well as Facebook Live. We hope that this is a new beginning for us here at the county to make your government more accessible. As always, we are here to serve you. I want to thank all of you that have submitted questions to the task force, and we have included answers to those questions and many more during our preparations for tonight's virtual town hall. If you find that you have further questions, feel free to submit them to the email address on your screen or by calling 794-5300. As always, we will do our best to assist. Thank you again, and our virtual town hall begins now.
Good evening, Bertie County citizens. I'm Ron Wesson, Chairman of the Bertie County Board of Commissioners. On behalf of my fellow commissioners, Vice Chair Tammy Lee, Commissioner Ernestine Bazemore, Commissioner Greg Atkins, and Commissioner John Trent, we are delighted to welcome you to our virtual town hall meeting on the coronavirus entitled, Help Us Keep Bertie Safe. As we enter phase 2 of our battle against this deadly virus, our goal is to ensure that every citizen is focusing on how we can work together to fight this pandemic and to limit its impact on individual lives as well as our larger community. Governor Roy Cooper, wanted to be a part of this town hall meeting to let you know firsthand his concern for Bertie County. Governor Cooper, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Governor Roy Cooper here. Welcome to the Bertie County Virtual Town Hall. Growing up in Nash County, I used to come to Bertie County to play Bertie Central in football and basketball. I love your county. I want to thank everyone who's joined tonight. By participating, you're looking out for your loved ones by taking the threat of coronavirus seriously. Our team of public health and state officials are working night and day to make decisions that are based on data and science, so we can slow the spread of COVID-19 in our state. I announced today efforts to deal with healthcare disparities and the disproportionate effects of COVID-19 on our communities of color. But beating this virus requires all of us to do our part. Remember the 3 W's: wear a face covering, wash your hands frequently, and wait 6 feet apart from others. As shops and restaurants start to reopen and we leave our houses more, it's so important that we do these things to prevent a spike in cases that could overwhelm our hospitals and set back our progress. Many people who get COVID-19 don't show symptoms, so wearing a face covering, like this one that I have right here, helps protect others in case you have the virus. I know that faith can mean a lot to us too during a time of crisis. I'm a church elder and I miss singing, talking, and gathering with my church community. I am doing virtual services though. But when we do these things in person together, we increase the chances of passing this virus one to another. Any kind of meeting that we would have inside could do that. I know this is tough, and I'm so grateful for people who are wearing their face coverings and staying home when they can. Your actions are saving lives. North Carolinians are resilient. I know if we all work together, we can come out of this thing stronger on the other side. Thanks so much, Bertie County. Have a great virtual town hall.
Thank you, Governor Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, the coronavirus is real, and its deadly impact is far from behind us. We must make sure that as we battle this deadly disease, that our battle is stronger than its will to consume us. Take a look at this graph that I'd like you to see on the screen. It is clear to see that there's been very little flattening of the curve of this virus here in our county. Mitch Cooper, our Director of Emergency Management Services, leads our coronavirus task force. Mitch, give us some insight as we enter phase 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for coordinating this town hall meeting for our citizens tonight. Bertie is seeing a steady increase of COVID-19 cases throughout the county. This is community spread. These numbers are not contributed to one facility in the county. Citizens are strongly encouraged to wear face coverings when out in public, maintain social distancing of 6 feet or more, and wash or sanitize your hands frequently. The stay-at-home order has been lifted by the governor, but it's important to know that if you're sick, stay home. 35% of our residents in Bertie County are considered to be high risk for COVID-19. The CDC defines high-risk individuals as people 65 years or older and people of any age who have serious underlying medical conditions, including people who are immunocompromised or who have chronic lung disease, moderate to severe asthma, serious heart conditions, severe obesity, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, undergoing dialysis, or liver disease. What does it mean now that the stay-at-home order is lifted? Restaurants are open to limited capacity. Child care facilities are back at full capacity. Overnight camps are open. Personal care, grooming, massage, and tattoo businesses are opening. Gatherings for social purposes of 10 people indoors and 25 people outdoors are now allowed. What will remain closed? Public playgrounds, bars and nightclubs, movie theaters, museums, bowling alleys, amusement parks, arcades, and skating rinks, bingo parlors, and other gaming establishments. Exercise facilities and gyms, dance studios, and basketball courts will remain closed. We still strongly encourage teleworking where possible. Visitations at long-term care facilities are still restricted. Bertie County, we have an issue with some of our citizens believing that COVID-19 is all hype. While our younger, healthier citizens may see less effect from COVID-19, our high-risk population is still vulnerable to a severe outcome from COVID-19. Remember, 35% of our population are at high risk. It is all of our responsibility to protect ourselves and our loved ones. We must take this seriously, as we can see another wave of the virus have detrimental effects on the county. As we move into hurricane season, we see increased challenges to ensure the safety of citizens that need sheltering. We are working tirelessly to ensure the safety and ensure proper sheltering is available when the need arises. We must all work together for one another from a distance to help get this under control. This is every citizen's responsibility to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Also, we ask for your help in spreading this word. A lot of our citizens do not have access to Facebook or our robocall system. Help spread the message of wear a mask, stay 6 foot apart, wash your hands, and if you're sick, stay home. Help us keep Bertie County safe. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mitch. It's clear that we've got much work ahead of us. Until a vaccine is discovered for this disease, we the citizens must pull together to do the simple things that are proven to slow the spread of this disease. Wear a facial protection when in public. Give everyone their space, 6 feet of physical distance, and wash your hands frequently. There's an important role for law enforcement to play in this battle. Sheriff John Holly is here to tell us about their role in keeping us safe from each other.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I give honor to God for just being here in the land of the living. I will ask by the Chairman to talk on 2 things and also be very brief, and I'm going to do exactly what he asked me to do. One was court, and the second was large gatherings. Court started back today at 9 a.m. They had approximately 60 cases, and they were a little better. From 9 to 12, they heard 30 cases. From 2 to 5, they heard the remainder of the cases that was on the docket. The courtroom is set up totally different now. They have it set up that you'll be social distant from each other as court goes on. you will have one entrance, wait your entrance, and exit. They will be different and away from each other. This is something new for all of us. We're working really hard to keep everyone safe. The deputies will be wearing the mask, gloves. At this time, I'm looking for face shields for them also, as they check everyone before they enter the courtroom. The second thing that the chairman wants me to talk to the citizens of Bertie County about is large gathering. I'm asking the citizens of Bertie County, help us keep Bertie County safe. Large gatherings put everyone at risk. Most of you all know that we have moved, the governor had moved to phase 2. So you will notice a lot of more things are beginning to open now. We have to be safe. Most of all, we need to be smart. Our calls have picked up on domestic violence. Our breaking and entering call have dropped slightly, not a lot, but has fallen some. But domestic violence call has picked up. But the deputies, we're out there, we're working hard. We actually have more deputies on the street now working, being the school has closed. So we're out there doing all we can do. As Sheriff of Bertie County, John Holly, I'm asking you to join in with us to continue to keep Bertie County safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Holly. So how is your local government faring as we deal with this pandemic? For all of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting our new county manager, here's Juan Vaughn II to update you on how your local government continues to get the job done and what you can expect. Juan?
Thank you, Chair Wesson, and good evening to you, Bertie County. I am Juan Vaughn II, and I'm so honored to be your new Bertie County manager. I would like to first extend my heartfelt condolences to each of you who've been affected personally by COVID-19 and those of you who have lost loved ones during this time. I would like to share 3 quick things with you. Number 1, we are still here and we are working for you. As you are aware, COVID-19 has affected all of us, including our government operations. But that hasn't stopped our commitment to provide our citizens with quality services. Certain services can't stop, so we've been here working through this pandemic to ensure that you maintain those essential services of having clean water, having places to dispose of your trash, and making sure someone arrives in a timely manner when you or your family have an emergency, as well as many others. Our doors have not been open to the public, but we are still here conducting business. Thank you for your patience as we strive to keep all of us and our government operations safe. Instead of coming into our offices, thank you, and please continue to use other means of taking care of your business, such as using our drop boxes, calling by phone, and utilizing our online services. Number 2, we've received some questions from citizens about the corona money. Citizens want to know, has the county received money for the coronavirus? Will it be given directly to citizens? And exactly how will it be used? Through the Coronavirus Relief Fund, the CARES Act was signed into law to give local governments funds for expenses related to COVID-19. Each county in North Carolina was allocated a specific amount from the Coronavirus Relief Fund. So yes, Bertie County will receive funds. However, these funds are specifically for COVID-related expenses incurred since March 1st. As a result of COVID-19, we have ordered a significant amount of supplies and personal protective equipment to keep our employees safe while working and responding to COVID-19 emergencies, and to equip our buildings in preparation for your return to our offices and to the county courthouse. So unless the guidelines change, citizens will not receive any of the funds directly, but the funds will be spent to ensure the safety of our employees and our citizens. We are aware of how this pandemic has affected our local economy, and that has contributed to the reason I did not recommend increasing the tax rate here in Bertie County for the upcoming fiscal year beginning July 1st. and I'm sure our commissioners will do their best to ensure that doesn't happen as well. Number 3, Census 2020. The amount of funds allocated to each county through the coronavirus relief funds was based on population, which reminds me to remind you to please take the time to complete the 2020 census. Our population is documented through the census, which is conducted every 10 years. This year is your chance to help us help you and our county. If you have not received census information in the mail yet, please visit our Bertie County local government Facebook page or our Bertie County Census 2020 page to learn how you can complete the census right now. Please continue to stay home as much as possible until we begin to see more of a decline in our active cases of COVID-19 to protect yourselves as well as your families. And please feel free to call us with any questions at 794-5300. And remember, we're here to serve, protect, and advocate for you. Thank you and be safe. Back to you, Chair Wesson.
Thank you, Juan. In planning this town hall, I can't tell you how pleased we were to know that our new superintendent, Dr. Otis Smallwood, was available to update us on how our students are dealing with this anything but normal situation. Dr. Smallwood is one of our own, and we're pleased to have him on the call. Dr. Smallwood?
Good evening, my fellow Bertie County citizens, and thank you for asking me to share a few comments on behalf of Bertie County Schools for this virtual town hall meeting as it relates to our current COVID-19 pandemic. This is an unprecedented time, and we are sailing in uncharted waters. Recently, our nation has just experienced 100,000 deaths due to COVID-related illness. Cases in North Carolina now exceed 25,000, and here in Bertie, we have nearly 120 cases with 4 deaths. A recent article published by the New York Times, it identified Bertie County as a county with high rates of underlying conditions that increases residents' risk of becoming severely ill if they are infected with coronavirus. Using data published by the CDC, our Bertie residents are at an increased risk for severe COVID-19 illness compared with the national average. It is based on the estimated proportion of adults in each county who have one or more of these conditions: diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, heart disease, and chronic lung disease. In addition, 30% of our population here in Bertie is an aging population. I emphasize that this pandemic is disrupting our lives and are forcing us into a new normal. This new normal has forced us to serve our students remotely beyond the brick and mortar. As challenging as it was, our teachers, administrators, child nutrition, and transportation staff, as well as parents, they all put forth extra effort to ensure that our students' academic, social, and emotional needs will continue to be met. So now we are just about to close the 2019-20 school year, and we are planning for re-entry into the 2020-21 school year. This is especially challenging because we don't know exactly how to plan what we need to plan. There are so many uncertainties with very little turnaround time. Just to name a few things we have to plan for are summer learning, which could be virtual or face-to-face, a re-entry plan for 2020-2021, high school athletics, extracurricular activities, remote learning, which consists of technology infrastructure, technology devices, and internet access. We also have to plan for transportation. And in planning, we will possibly have to follow guidelines from the North Carolina Health and Human Services Department, as well as the Center for Disease Control. Some of these measures include temperature checks and health screenings prior to facility entry, hand sanitizer stations and washing our hands often, wearing face masks, all while social distancing, which is staying 6 feet apart at all times. As you can see, this will definitely present a challenge. Your input will be needed. In the very near future, Bertie County Schools will be hosting virtual town hall sessions similar to this one, because I will need your ideas about how we can make this happen for our kids. As I stated earlier, we are living in unprecedented times, and we may never go back to what we used to know. The new normal may just become the normal. It will take all of us collaborating to ensure our students get what they need to be successful. We are going to have to exercise patience, understanding, creativity, respect, and inspire trust. All decisions made will not make everyone happy, but do know that all decisions will be made with your students in mind. The health and safety of our students and staff will always be our #1 priority. Take care, and I look forward to the work we will do together. Please continue to make it a great day and stay safe. Let's build a better Bertie.
Thank you, Dr. Smallwood. We're so very delighted to have you back home here in Bertie. One of the many things that I love about Bertie County is that we have such a strong faith-based community. Next up is the moderator of the West Roanoke Missionary Baptist Association, Reverend Roosevelt Whitehead, to talk to us a little bit about the role of the faith-based community in our fight against COVID-19. Reverend Whitehead.
Greetings, Chairman Wesson, commissioners, and members of Bertie County. As you know, we're living in challenging times throughout this world. And as the COVID-19 pandemic and now social justice issues with continuing change has become more and more critical every day. After considerable prayer, it is my personal response to the growing concerns over the rapid spread of this coronavirus pandemic that is impacting our world, that we, the faith-based community, must continue to follow the guidelines of the CDC and Governor Cooper's executive orders. We believe that observance of these guidelines should be followed to ensure the appropriate preparedness in effort to reduce the risk and exposure to our members. Our members are our greatest assets. If you or your loved ones have experienced any of these symptoms, we ask that you get testing, and we ask that you keep in mind and remain home and stay quarantined. God has said to us to be in submission to governing authorities. Romans 13:1-2 says, "Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. We must remain wise, we must remain careful, and we must practice what the CDC has required. That includes waiting 6 feet apart, washing your hands, and wearing your mask. Again, my brothers and my sisters, prior to this pandemic, we knew church in a different way. And this new normal, we will have to go back to the church in a different light. So let us be prayerful. There have been a reopening guide planted on the website for General Baptist State Convention churches to follow. And there are a number of other methods to carry out for our ministries because the church is not in the building. The church is in us. God bless you. May heaven continue to smile and shine upon you. And may God's grace be with you. Stay safe, Bertie County. Thank you, Chairman Wesson, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Reverend Whitehead. Our next presenter is someone who many of you probably don't know. He is a survivor of the coronavirus, and he's going to spend a few minutes to briefly tell you about his ordeal and why it's important that we protect ourselves and others from what he had to go through. Mr. Wilson?
Hello, my name is Robert Wilson. I'm 54 years of age, a native of Bertie County. Also, I'm a COVID-19 survivor. On April the 10th, 2020, I tested positive for COVID-19 and truly blessed to be a survivor and alive to briefly share with the citizens of Bertie County as well as others throughout the state the experience and ordeal I had concerning COVID-19. COVID-19 is a very deadly and serious virus that can cause you to lose your life. And to protect yourself as well as others from getting this virus, do abide by the guidelines that are set by public and state officials, such as wearing a mask, washing your hands, and social distancing. This is for your protection as well as to protect others. I do know that there's a lot of people out there that may not want to hear this, but as being a COVID-19 survivor, I would truly like to let everyone know that this virus is the most is the worst feeling you could ever experience having. I experienced the symptoms by having severe body aches, shortness of breath, loss of appetite, extremely high temperatures, and a great loss of weight, 19 pounds in 7 days. And before being exposed to COVID-19, I had no health problems. While being positive for COVID-19, I had a minor stroke, heart attack, and was diagnosed with a blood clot. Surely COVID-19 can cause you to have major health problems, and COVID-19 doesn't discriminate. It don't care what age you are or what color. People are dying from this virus, and when you experience people that are close to you dying, it'll change your mind and make you realize this virus isn't a game. 2 of my best friends died from COVID-19, one a native of Washington County, Plymouth, North Carolina. Even though if you catch the virus, go to quarantine for 14 days, those 14 days are not guaranteed that you get rid of this virus. You do need to continue to get tested until you obtain a negative COVID-19 test result. After 14 days of quarantine, it doesn't mean the virus is gone. You still have the virus and continue to spread it if you don't get tested and get a negative test result, and that's facts. There is no cure for the virus, and there's nothing you can take to help this virus. The only medication that's recommended is Tylenol. Other medications are not good, only cause you severe problems. Get plenty of rest, drink plenty of fluids, and surely you will overcome this virus. And surely one thing is to believe in God and pray, because having this virus will make you pray. Trust and believe I'm a living survivor. And truly I do thank God for blessing me to share this brief message with you. Everyone needs to get tested, and if you feel bad, go get tested. It'll help as well as save another life. Most people are vulnerable to this virus. From the time that I had this virus to the time I tested negative on May the 20th, 2020, for not having the COVID-19 virus was a total of 46 days. And between them 46 days, I took multiple tests, which came back positive because there wasn't enough quarantine.
Thank you, Robert, for sharing your story with us. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to close this town hall, I'd like to leave you with a thought. You know, there are a lot of great things that government can do. We can make sure that your drinking water is safe. We can make sure that if you call for law enforcement, someone will show up to aid you. We can make sure that if you're hurt in an accident, our EMS people will be there to give you assistance. And we can even make sure that the laws of our society work at least most of the time. But one of the things that we cannot do is to make individuals live up to their personal responsibilities to themselves and to each other. That's something that we must do for ourselves. So it's important that we work together to help keep Bertie safe. I'd like to thank all of the presenters who are part of this town hall this evening, to the Board of Commissioners and to the Corona Task Force for making this town hall possible. And of course, thank you to all of you for sharing your evening with us. Continue to stay safe, and may God bless.